A surprise special guest referee is planned for SummerSlam 2024. We got the reason Bron Breakker didn't win the Intercontinental title at Money in the Bank, and some big surprises are planned for TNA Slammiversary. It's time for the news. Something that's just come out in the last 5 minutes or so, a big old scoop from WrestleVotes saying sources state that the current plan is to have Seth Rollins as the special guest referee for the CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre SummerSlam match. Creative is proceeding under the assumption that Punk will be ready for action with the anticipated clearance date set for the Monday beforehand. How do you feel about this one?
Very excited. Obviously, this past Monday on Raw, they were very much hyping up the fact of Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk at SummerSlam. I'm just so excited, Adam. But there was a lot of little bits here and there that I guess now this has sort of come out, kind of adds up to it. So in the sort of the promo that we had between Adam Pearce and Drew McIntyre, Adam Pearce was very much like, you want this match, Punk wants this match, this whole crowd wants this match, but you have to do one thing for me, Drew, please do this one thing, and that is to apologize to the refs that got attacked at Money in the Bank. Drew was like, no, why should I apologize to them after they've screwed me out of everything, and you don't really give CM Punk any sort of repercussions from this sort of stuff. And I never even pieced it together. After that happened, and Drew was on a bit of a rampage, Seth Rollins came out, cleared the ring, and then Drew was off. So I didn't even piece it together that might even be a probability.
I'm buzzing if this goes ahead, because I think we could sit here for like 2 hours and fantasy book how that match ends. I think it's such an unpredictable match because they all absolutely hate each other.
Yeah.
How does that possibly play out? And I think it's really, really exciting one. And it's handy as well because Punk will hopefully have just been cleared. They're cutting it fine, obviously. But I think with a little gimmick in there, like a special guest referee match, you can have some shenanigans, and that makes life a little bit easier for Punk, who's just coming back.
I mean, that's it as well, isn't it? I guess no matter what the outcome will be, there's always on the other side of the fence is then the person that was like, well, you counted the 3 on me, and then therefore you can carry that on a little bit, whilst you've still got the other person there at the same time too to get back to eventually. I would like to come around full circle and we have a triple threat.
You want a triple threat?
Point. I would love a triple threat at some point for sure.
I think there's a chance that we'll get Punk versus Rollins, and I think there's a chance that we'll get triple threat with all of those.
Yeah.
The feud's so hot that I think we'll get a few out of it now for sure. A little note just on CM Punk there from The Observer. Meltzer writes, Drew McIntyre's suspension is pure storyline, obviously, and is not designed as a cover reason to delay the match, but with the idea that if Punk hasn't been cleared, then they can essentially push it back. And he noted as well that Punk, the belief is that he went to Orlando as part of the process to get cleared earlier this week. The report from Observer regarding this, which came out just a few minutes before the WrestleVotes tweet, was, as of right now, there is a guest referee spot scheduled for one of the top bouts. And then he goes on to speculate that it's probably going to be Rollins as referee for Punk McIntyre. He was told that it's not Ripley versus Morgan. I'm 99% sure that this is going to be for the Punk McIntyre match if it goes ahead. Yeah. The other big matches on the card, I mean, you've got Damian Priest versus Gunther. I think it's fairly unlikely there. Bayley Nia Jax, I don't see it happening there. He said it's not going to be Morgan versus Ripley. Cody versus Solo, maybe. I guess there's a possibility you could have one of the Bloodline as a special guest ref, but it makes the most sense, surely, for it to be.
I think so. It feels like it with everything, I guess, that was planted on Raw that even I didn't even think about at the time. It feels like that is the natural fit, I guess. If that hadn't have been said about the Seth, Drew and Punk stuff, I would have maybe thought Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley with Dom as special guest referee, but apparently that's not the case. So
I think he'll get involved in the finish and he'll choose his side for sure, but apparently not as a special guest referee. We move on, and I've included this story, Andrew, by way of an apology, because we talked about this earlier. We got the reason that Bron Breakker didn't win the IC title at Money in the Bank. We talked about it this morning, and you said you thought that it was because it wasn't a grand enough stage. According to this report from The Observer, that's exactly it. It wasn't high profile enough. Money in the Bank is your 5th biggest pay-per-view. That's not big enough for you. There's a big 5 now. Fair enough, he wants it at SummerSlam.
Yeah,
so there you go. You were right.
Thank you.
Well done. Round of applause in the chat, please. So there you go. That's the reason that title change didn't happen. A bit of a tease here. Big surprises planned for Slammiversary. It's a really, really big show, Slammiversary, taking place tomorrow night. Around 4,000 fans set to be in attendance. Massive for TNA, for sure. And Jordan Grace has been chatting away with Sports Illustrated.
And she said the surprises are going to get even bigger than people realize. TNA and NXT do surprises better than any other promotion. I don't think anyone can argue that. If you're tired of accidentally reading spoilers, watch Slammiversary. Our goal is to make fans fall back in love with professional wrestling. Slammiversary officially sold out. Yeah, as you were saying, 4,000 fans in attendance.
It's really good.
That's
for
awesome
TNA.
for them.
It's great. I'm really glad to hear it. They're hot at the moment. Obviously, the NXT link up has helped with that. Who's the surprise, Andrew? Or surprises?
I'm willing to say AJ Styles.
You reckon? That'd be amazing.
That's what I feel.
Wrestling?
I think so, yeah.
Oh,
why not?
Somebody gets taken out of the 6-man, AJ Styles goes in.
There you go.
Because Joe Hendry.
Well, they've said, I'm pretty sure they've said that Nick Nemeth, his status within that match because of being injured and whatnot.
Oh, that'd be so good.
I feel bad for Nick Nemeth though. I think he'll still be in the match. But I mean, even if he turns up at the end, maybe it's AJ Styles facing down whoever picks up the belt or retains the belt.
I think there's been a lot of criticism about the stars that WWE are sending over to TNA in comparison to the stars that TNA are sending over to WWE or NXT. AJ Styles,
would be cool,
Mr. TNA for the longest time. That'd be amazing. If not, Shane McMahon would be great as well. We'll quickly have a look at this Slammiversary card. It's tomorrow night, as I say. Some big matches on there. You've got the 6-man elimination match for the TNA World title. Moose, Josh Alexander, Steve Macklin, Nick Nemeth, Frankie Kazarian, and Joe Hendry. You got the Knockouts match, which is Jordan Grace versus Ash by Elegance. You got the X Division title on the line, Mustafa Ali versus Speedball Mike Bailey. That is going to be an absolute banger, by the way. Digital Media title and International Heavyweight Championship on the line. AJ Francis versus PCO. That'll be a laugh. TNA Tag Team Championship match, System versus ABC. You got Mike Santana versus Jake Something. Knockouts titles, the tag titles on the line, and you got Matt Hardy versus JDC as well. There's loads and loads to look forward to. So if maybe you're a lapsed fan or something, I think it's a really good point to start watching TNA again.
Yeah, agreed.
So check it out. And we're going to finish with a little bit more slightly TNA flavored news, as a top tag team is expected to sign with WWE. You know who we're about to talk about. That was enough to give it away for sure. No, it's like that, and it's
ring, I'll drive and you do the shooty shoots.
Chris Sabin, Alex Shelley expected to sign with WWE. Motor City Machine Guns are looking like it's going to be that way. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, they said nobody's officially said anything. It's been known for months that they've been talking with both AEW and WWE since the TNA contracts expired. Of late, the indications were WWE made the better offer, and they were expected to take basically whichever financially it was more lucrative. So I can't wait. And you know what? I was thinking about this. I think the first match they have is DIY.
I think so too.
Because that is
that's
one of the matches.
And I think as well, Ciampa even on socials put out a picture of them too. And I mean, that match is certified gold.
I can't wait. If we
and I'd love that. I can't wait. Yeah, just for the reveal, if they do turn up, the reveal of it all, just them two teams having banger matches, like, give it to me.
100%. I think they're one of the greatest tag teams of all time. And it's a shame that, a lot of fans, maybe they're unfamiliar with other promotions. If you don't go to WWE, if you don't have a spell in WWE, maybe you're not going to be considered one of the greatest of all times. But for me, Motor City Machine Guns are certainly up there. The stuff that they have done in the past and continue to do, they're still really bloody good. I would rather see them go WWE than AEW. It looks like that's what we're going to be getting. There's a lot of dream matches there to have. That is it from us. We've got some really great videos coming up over the weekend. You can join myself and Sam for the news tomorrow morning. And then we got a couple of lists. And Fraser has done a fantastic video looking at AEW Fight Forever 1 year on. Andrew edited it.
I did. It's still as good as it was back then. Well, you'll find out. Watch the video.
So that's coming Sunday afternoon as well. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the weather if you're here in the UK, or enjoy the weather wherever. See ya.